What if I told you that the most defining moment of your life is waiting for you right now, hidden in plain sight? What if the setback you are experiencing, the failure you are staring at, the disappointment that feels unbearable, what if all of it is actually the launch pad for your greatest comeback? Many people live in fear of failure, trapped in the memory of a missed opportunity or a dream that slipped through their fingers. But the truth is, every great comeback starts with one undeniable fact: you are not done yet. The story of your comeback begins in the space where most people give up. It begins when the world says you've lost, and you whisper to yourself, not yet. Life has a way of testing resolve. It has a way of pushing us to the brink, of forcing us into situations where everything familiar falls away, and the only choice left is to fight, adapt, and rise. These moments are not punishments. They are preparations. The struggle you are facing right now is a sign, not a sentence. It is the universe telling you something bigger is coming. But first, prove to yourself that you are ready. Your comeback will not be quiet. It will not be polite. It will demand everything you have: your courage, your focus, your discipline, and your refusal to accept anything less than victory. This is not about incremental improvement. It is about radical transformation. Every person who has made a legendary comeback has faced doubt, betrayal, failure, and fear. What separates them from those who never rise is the choice to move forward, despite all of it. Rise when everything says you cannot. To take action when your body wants to collapse. To keep going when your mind wants to quit. First, you must confront the reality of where you are. Be honest about the pain, the loss, the mistakes, and the regrets. Do not hide from them. Do not sugarcoat them. This is the starting point. A comeback without awareness of the depth of your fall is like building a skyscraper on sand. Acknowledgement is not weakness. It is clarity, and clarity is power. Once you face the truth of your situation, you can start to dismantle it. You can begin to rebuild stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever before. Next, embrace responsibility. A comeback is never about blaming the past, the people around you, or circumstances beyond your control. Excuses are the enemy of revival. If you want the biggest comeback of your life, you must take full ownership of your actions, your choices, and your outcomes. Only then can you reclaim your power. The moment you shift from blame to ownership is the moment the comeback truly begins. You are no longer a victim. You are a warrior with a mission. A crucial element of your comeback is vision. You must see beyond the current setback. You must envision the life you want with such clarity that the present discomfort becomes irrelevant. Your comeback is not about returning to where you were. It is about ascending to a higher level. Picture yourself months, even years from now, stronger, wiser, resilient, and victorious. This vision is the fuel that keeps you moving when doubt creeps in and the world seems unkind. Action is the bridge between vision and reality. Thoughts and desires alone will not create your comeback. You must act decisively, relentlessly, and with intention. Even small steps taken consistently carry enormous momentum. Break your goals into manageable, measurable actions and pursue them daily. Every step forward, no matter how small, chips away at the barrier that stands between you and your greatest life. Finally, understand that resilience is a skill, not a It is built moment by moment, in the face of discomfort, in the refusal to surrender, in the commitment to rise after every fall. Your biggest comeback will require you to train your mind, body, and spirit for endurance, to cultivate patience when results are delayed, courage when fear appears, and persistence when the journey feels endless. Remember, the setback is temporary. The pain is temporary. Even the darkest night cannot last forever. What you are about to experience, the comeback, is legendary because of the struggle that preceded it. The world may doubt you. Friends may doubt you. Even you may doubt yourself at times. But there is one truth no one can take away. The greatest comeback is possible because you are alive, aware, and unwilling to quit. Your journey begins here, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when fear disappears. It begins the moment you decide that your comeback is inevitable. The rest of the story, rising, thriving, conquering, and transforming, is waiting for you, and it starts now. Once you decide that your comeback is non-negotiable, the next step is rewriting your story. Most people allow their past to define their future. They believe that mistakes, failures, and lost opportunities are permanent markers of who they are. But here's the truth. The past is a reference point, not a residence. The biggest comeback begins when you reclaim authorship over your own life. You get to choose what your story will say from this moment forward. Rewriting your story starts with your mindset. You must see every obstacle, every setback, every moment of doubt as part of the narrative that builds your ultimate rise. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is this preparing me for? When you frame challenges as preparation, the story of your life transforms from one of defeat to one of strategy and growth. You become the protagonist who is tested not for punishment, but for the ultimate revelation of your potential. The next step is identifying the patterns that have held you back. Examine your decisions, habits, and thought processes with brutal honesty. What fears dictated your choices? What excuses kept you in stagnation? What distractions allowed complacency to sneak in? A comeback is never a superficial change. It's a deep reconfiguration of how you operate, think, and respond. You must strip away what no longer serves you so that only what is necessary for victory remains. One of the most powerful tools in a comeback is mental clarity. You cannot rise to your highest potential while your mind is cluttered with regrets, distractions, and conflicting desires. Meditation, journaling, reflection. These are not luxuries. They are essentials. They give you the space to see clearly where you are and where you need to go. With clarity, fear loses its grip. Confusion fades. Decisions become decisive. Your path forward becomes visible. And for the first time in a long time, the horizon feels reachable. A comeback also requires reclaiming your confidence. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you earn through consistent action. Each step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, builds evidence that you are capable. Every time you face a fear, speak your truth, or act despite hesitation, you reinforce the belief that you are competent, capable, and unstoppable. Confidence is the armor you wear into battle, and a comeback without it is impossible. Equally important is aligning with your purpose. People often stumble because they pursue paths that feel safe, convenient, or expected by others. But true comebacks come from pursuing what truly matters to you, the goals that ignite passion in your soul. When your actions are aligned with your purpose, you gain an unstoppable energy. You no longer wait for permission, approval, or external validation. You move with intention, driven by something bigger than temporary setbacks or criticism. Preparation is not just practical, it is strategic. A comeback requires study, practice, and planning. You must understand your industry, your craft, or your environment. You must anticipate challenges and equip yourself with the tools to overcome them. This does not mean waiting for perfect conditions. Perfection is a myth. But it does mean acting with awareness, foresight, and discipline. Every decision becomes intentional, every effort leveraged toward your ultimate rise. Lastly, a comeback demands resilient relationships. Surround yourself with people who support your vision, challenge your limits, and refuse to let you settle for less. The wrong company will pull you into doubt and distraction. The right company will elevate you, mirror your potential, and hold you accountable. Your comeback is not a solitary journey, but one in which allies, mentors, and collaborators play a critical role in reinforcing your belief in yourself. Your story is yours to rewrite. The past is not your prison, it is your classroom. Every failure, setback, and mistake is a lesson you now carry into your future. With a mindset of growth, clarity of purpose, and relentless action, the comeback is no longer a dream. It becomes a plan, a pursuit, and a reality in motion. A comeback is not built on wishes, regrets, or intentions. It is built on relentless action. Too many people spend years planning, hoping, and waiting for the right moment to return stronger. But the truth is, the right moment rarely comes. The right moment is the one you create with action today. Every small step taken consistently compounds into momentum that no obstacle can stop. The first principle of action is decisive commitment. Half-hearted efforts produce half-hearted results. You cannot tiptoe into a comeback. You cannot test the waters while expecting to swim to greatness. You must decide, this is non-negotiable. This is my moment. This is my rise. Once you commit, you align every thought, decision, and behavior toward this one mission. Commitment converts fear into fuel, hesitation into motion, and doubt into strategy. Next comes consistent execution. Talent and intelligence matter, but consistency is the engine of comebacks. You may not see immediate results, and frustration may creep in, but each day you execute, each action you take, reinforces your trajectory. Think of it as laying bricks for a foundation. One brick may seem insignificant, but the structure grows over time. With consistent action, momentum builds quietly but powerfully, creating a force that cannot be ignored. A comeback also demands embracing discomfort. Growth does not occur in comfort zones. It thrives in challenge, in pressure, and in situations that stretch you beyond what feels easy. Each uncomfortable moment is an opportunity to prove to yourself that your resilience exceeds your fear. You will face rejection, criticism, and setbacks, but these are not signals to retreat. They are signals to advance, to test your limits, and to expand your capacity. The comeback requires embracing the very discomfort that once made you hesitate. Equally vital is adaptability. No plan survives unchanged. Life will throw unexpected obstacles, and circumstances will shift in ways you cannot predict. The difference between those who falter and those who rise is the ability to adjust without losing momentum. Adaptability means learning quickly, pivoting when necessary, and maintaining focus on your end goal without being derailed by temporary setbacks. It is not compromise, it is intelligent recalibration. Another cornerstone is mental resilience. A comeback is as much internal as it is external. You will encounter voices of doubt from others and from yourself. You will face moments where your past failures threaten to define your present. But mental resilience is the armor that protects you from giving in. It is built through repetition, reflection, and positive reinforcement. Each time you choose belief over fear, persistence over procrastination, you strengthen the mindset that will carry you through the toughest battles. Focus is also non-negotiable. Distraction is the enemy of a comeback. In a world full of noise, information overload, and competing priorities, your ability to concentrate on what matters most is your superpower. Narrow your attention to the tasks that directly move you toward your goal. Eliminate low-value activities. Guard your time and energy as if your life depended on it, because in this case, it does. Every decision that aligns with your comeback amplifies progress. Every one that does not delays it. Accountability accelerates action. You cannot rise alone. Share your vision with those who push you, challenge you, and expect your best. Mentors, coaches, or trusted friends who refuse to accept excuses will force you to operate at your highest level. Accountability transforms good intentions into tangible results. It ensures that your actions are not just sporadic bursts of effort, but consistent, measured steps toward victory. Finally, remember that failure is part of the process, not the end point. Every great comeback is littered with obstacles, missteps, and moments of despair. But the difference is in perspective. Each failure is feedback, not defeat. Each mistake is data, not doom. When you take action despite fear, recalibrate when necessary, and persist through setbacks, the comeback is no longer a possibility, it is inevitable. In this stage, action replaces regret. Movement replaces stagnation. Hope becomes a tangible force. The foundation has been laid, the mindset is rebuilt, clarity has been achieved, and the plan is in motion. Now, every day becomes a battlefield where your commitment, persistence, and resilience are tested and strengthened. You have taken the steps, you have committed, you have acted, You have faced discomfort, embraced challenges, and refused to allow fear or doubt to dictate your life. Now comes the moment where the comeback transforms from effort into reality. But understand this. The true comeback is not defined by a single victory or a moment of recognition. It is defined by transformation, by the person you have become along the journey. A comeback reveals the strength that was always inside you. It exposes the resilience that was dormant while fear or complacency held you back. Every setback you overcame, every day you chose action over hesitation, every moment you persisted despite uncertainty, these built a version of you that is unrecognizable from the one who first faced defeat. The comeback is not just about reclaiming what was lost, it is about creating what could never have existed without struggle. Victory is not always loud. It does not always arrive with fanfare or recognition. Sometimes it arrives quietly in the confidence of your own decisions, in the knowledge that you can face whatever comes next. It is the calm assurance that comes from having endured, learned, and acted consistently. This inner victory, the mental, emotional, and spiritual mastery you have cultivated, is more powerful than any external success. It is the foundation that ensures the comeback lasts. Transformation also comes through perspective. When you rise from defeat, you see life differently. You understand that obstacles are not barriers, they are signals. You recognize that fear is not an enemy, it is a guide pointing to where growth is possible. You realize that setbacks are not permanent, they are temporary courses designed to test your resolve. With this perspective, every future challenge becomes an opportunity, every risk becomes a calculated experiment, and every delay becomes a chance to refine your strategy. Your comeback changes how you see the world, how you approach life, and how you understand yourself. One of the most powerful aspects of a comeback is the impact it creates beyond yourself. Your return inspires others. Your resilience motivates those who have faced similar struggle. By refusing to surrender, by taking action when it seemed impossible, by rebuilding and rising stronger, you demonstrate what is possible. You become a living example that setbacks do not define destiny, and that greatness is not reserved for the flawless. It is earned through courage, persistence, and intelligent action. Sustain your comeback through habit and discipline. Transformation is only permanent when it is reinforced daily. The routines you establish, the consistency you maintain, and the standards you uphold become the scaffolding that supports long-term success. Every day you continue to act with purpose, clarity, and determination. You solidify the comeback into a lifestyle. The habits of resilience, focus, and courage will continue to compound, opening doors that were previously unimaginable. Gratitude and reflection are equally important. Recognize how far you have come. Honor the lessons of your past failures, the guidance of mentors, the support of allies, and the strength you discovered within yourself. Reflection is not dwelling on the past. It is integrating its lessons into the present so that the future can be shaped intentionally. Gratitude grounds you, prevents arrogance, and ensures that your comeback is sustainable. Finally, the biggest comeback of your life is never just about reclaiming what was lost. It is about setting a new standard. It is about exceeding even your own expectations. It is about achieving more than you thought possible before adversity tested you. The comeback creates a ripple effect, influencing every area of your life: personal growth, relationships, career, health, and purpose. It transforms not only your circumstances, but also your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who can be defeated. You see yourself as someone who rises, adapts, and thrives, no matter the challenge. Remember this: the journey of a comeback is lifelong. Even after victory is achieved, life will present new obstacles. But now, with your mindset rebuilt, your resilience strengthened, and your clarity restored, you approach challenges with a confidence that was forged in the fire of your own perseverance. You no longer fear failure, you use it as fuel. You no longer wait for permission, you no longer measure success by ease, you measure it by growth. The biggest comeback of your life is not a single moment. It is the sum of decisions, actions, and transformations that occur when you refuse to surrender, when you act despite fear, and when you commit to becoming the strongest version of yourself. Rise with intention, persist with courage, and transform your struggle into triumph. This is not just a return, it is a revolution within yourself, a statement that no obstacle, no setback, no failure, and no doubt can define your destiny. Stand tall. Act decisively. The comeback is yours.